Good morning. It is Monday, September 13th. So, a very good day to be alive. As you saw, today's title is A Time to Learn. And the word for the day is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 9 through 13. In this, the writer writes, "What profit has the worker from that in which he labors? I have seen the God-given task with which the sons of men are to be occupied. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, he has put eternity in their hearts, except that no one can find out the work that God does from beginning to end. I know that nothing is better for them to rejoice and to do good in their lives, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all of his labor. It is the gift of God." That's Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 9 through 13. Of course, the first 8 verses of chapter 3 there, I didn't read over, but most of us know those verses through the song from the 60s called "Turn, Turn, Turn" by the Byrds. So anyway, very cool. But it is good for us to remember. The writer also told us to remember the Creator in our youth. Here's the deal. The other day I was driving down the road, and I saw these butterflies doing some little courtship dance, right? And as I was driving by there, man, it was just beautiful. And then all of a sudden, they got sucked right into my radiator. It was this beautiful process. Boom, it's done. I saw it happen right in front of me, and as I'm driving, it was kind of like it grieved me. And I was riding with my wife, and I said, I don't know that we were ever meant to ride in cars. And she just laughed at me and said, "You're such a hippie. I don't even want to know what you're thinking about now." And it had my wheels kind of turning. It's got me thinking, the hippies were onto something. And I know this may sound a little crazy to some of us people that didn't experience the 60s and 70s and have an understanding of that. And I'm not speaking from experience. I'm speaking from a perspective of looking back and seeing what documentaries I've seen or what I've read. And so from that perspective, this is what I'm talking about. The hippies had something. They understood community. Now, the problem with the hippie movement is that they allowed Satan to creep in. And when they allowed Satan to creep in, they started taking the hallucinogenic drugs, which just clouded their mind. It gave them the wrong concept of what community was, because they got together and got high and just, went from experiencing love in a different way to clouding everything experience with experiences that couldn't be matched here on this earth ever again. This whole hallucinogenic thing through LSD and other things. Additionally, the whole free love concept, they mistook the beauty of sex and that what God has given us to enhance our relationships and to bind one another together when it's in its proper form, and made it into this free love where anything goes and you can love anyone and should love everyone in a sexual way, not just love from the heart. And so this whole hippie thing, while they had the right concepts, it was clouded. It was clouded and manipulated in order to fulfill our natural lust. And that's what we have to be careful of. The hippies were onto something. Even this whole going green thing, again, it's onto something. Taking care of this earth, absolutely. We should do everything we can. But if it's manipulated more, the motivation that I see is not from the governmental standards, is so that we can pad other people's pockets. It has nothing to do with the greater concept of really being interested in creating a better world. So anyway, the point is this: we should work, enjoy our lives, and enjoy the fruit of our labor. And the best way to do that is by doing it in a sense of community. Now, the reason I said I told my wife I don't know if we're ever made to ride in cars is because of this. Although I love the internal combustion engine, I love adrenaline rushes and horsepower and being thrown back into your seat and the inertia and everything. here's what happens when we get cars. So even when from horseback, you could still talk to people as you rode up alongside them. You went to open air buggies, you could still speak with them. I think about the Little House on the Prairie TV show so many years ago. You ride up next to somebody, you could talk to a neighbor. You were more apt to engage with one another. Nowadays, we ride around with our windows rolled up in our separate little worlds, and we rush back and forth. And everywhere I go, it seems like in a bigger and bigger hurry. And we rush back and forth, and we don't ever engage with those around us. And then we go to our work where we're all put into separate offices or cubicles or whatever, and we don't engage. We lose our sense of community. So where does this whole hippie concept come along? You and I. Okay, progress is not a bad thing, but we've got to be careful that we have a better understanding of what we're progressing to. Okay, so I don't want us to step back. I'm not promoting that we should step back from the progress we've made. We've made great progress, and we've seen wonderful things. I mean, there's no way that those walking back in Old Testament times could even fathom walking on the moon, but yet we've done it. So I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, but we've got to step back and look and say, what is our purpose behind this? What are we progressing to? Because that's the greater issue. Progress is a good thing. What we're progressing to is what determines whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. So I just want to encourage you in each of our lives. I'm not saying you got to go green. I'm not saying you got to become a hippie. What I am saying is this. In everything we do, we should have intent. We should engage with those around us. We should be in relationship with those around us. And we should not be so separated by our successes that we don't care more about those around us. That's my concept. I'm about to sneeze, so I'm trying to let it go. You guys have a great day. Be blessed. Engage with your God, engage with others. You will be blessed for it.